What's up guys, it's me, LankyB, and today we are doing a breakdown video. So, if you remember the last breakdown video, we talked about the free DLC which was coming. It was the infection update, which everyone was really hyped for. And you know, we really... I tried to go into as much detail as I could, saying what we may have missed in the update. This time we're going to be talking about the changes going to be made to the competitive, the Halo competitive scene, and why I think that it's actually a terrible idea, and that this could, if it continues, really damage Halo's player population, especially for the Halo competitive scene. Let's get into it. So, what do I actually mean by it could damage the players? You know, what is this change? What's going to happen? Well, the best way to put it is 343 are making some big changes, which aren't just like moving the weapons around. These are some serious big changes. If you guys have played in the Proving Grounds, you will know that they've got some radar changes, and you'll actually be able to like experience that. You'll be able to play it. We've played a couple of games, and we actually think it's quite bad. Like, people who enjoyed some of the like ideas about it, like Bach, they've said that it's implemented really terribly. So I'm going to be going through a couple of these main points which they've changed. The first one, which we're going to start with, is the radar. So as you guys may know, it's been covered not on the channel, but it's been covered quite a lot by other people. They have got some radar changes coming up, and they're not just like little radar changes, like let's increase it by a meter or two. You know, it's pretty bad, like, changes. The first thing that they're changing is, they're going to increase the radar. Now, they've been talking quite a while about how they want a middle ground between the radars. They want something which is classic and nostalgic, like Halo 3, and they want a big radar. People rely on the radar to know where people are, and it's not necessarily a good thing, because if you're a radar watcher, well, it's just not going to end too well. You're not going to be able to improve yourself. You're constantly going to be watching the radar, and I can say that because I did that before. You are not actually being listening and looking around your surroundings, and Halo 5 forces you to do that. And some people just won't actually adapt to that, they won't actually go for it, so they'll hate the radar and blame the radar because they can't do good in the game. The other thing that they want is, some people want no radar. They hate the radar, they think that it should just be gone, it should rely on people knowing where other people are. And again, I think that's just stupid, because in SWAT, I don't know, the radar in Halo 5 makes it so you actually know what could be around you, and it's like, there could be a guy here, there could be a guy here. It's kind of risky. It's a little bit scarier in SWAT. If it's an arena, I just don't want to be moving around that much. I want to stay with my team, and that could be quite fun if you're having team encounters. But I don't know, like, I can just see like people constantly camping if there's no radar, and just slowing the overall pace of the game down. So it's not fun. It's just people ninjaing, assassinating, all stuff like that. It's just not going to be that fun. So, even though there's two things, one on the proper nostalgic Halo 3 side, and one on the really SWAT hardcore kind of style of things, 343 wants something in the middle ground. So something in the middle ground should be a small radar, where that's it. It should be a short radar where you can see people if they're quite close to you. However, you know, you'll still be able to see them. You can't rely on it as much. You've got to be looking around. I wonder which game managed to do that. Oh right, Halo 5. They keep talking about a middle ground, and they've already got that. So when they're saying all this crap, we need the middle ground for the radar, it's total bullshit. It is really shit. We've already got that. But what they want is literally like combining the two, and just kind of removing something from the game. So they want to have a ginormous radar, and they also want to have it so you don't pop up on that radar. So what's the point of having it? Well, you do pop up on the radar, but only if you sprint, or use any armor ability, or fire your weapon, unless it's a silenced weapon. Now that kind of does sound cool, but it's like having no radar, but you can't even move around. Like, but before I said that if I didn't have a radar, I'd feel restricted. Now, I don't want to move about because they can see me. I would be able to use the assault rifle or a close range weapon, equip that and just run around. But they'll be able to see me, and that's what I dislike. I could take a place and try and hold out, and I could think, well, at least I've got some time before they get to me. They'll pop up on the radar. But they can just walk up to me, and then they'll be able to get behind me and flank me. The Halo 5 maps weren't designed for that. It doesn't seem right. It seems so weird. It makes the radar so useless. But at the same time, it makes it... I don't know what the best word for it is. It is useless against people who are not going to be sprinting and playing it as if it was Halo 3, as if sprint never existed. But if you're playing against a team who are going to be sprinting, then you're instantly just going to have an advantage. Because of the increased range, you will be able to see them sprinting miles across the map. Like, it will not even be fair. They've actually decreased it from 25 to 24 meters. But I don't even think that's enough. The fact is, if you see somebody sprinting on the radar, you're gonna know. Like, you know, everybody on the map is basically alerted to your position, and then you can't even move. So you can either walk slowly and get spotted, or run and risk getting caught on the radar. It really restricts your movements, and that's what I dislike. Sure, you can get up behind people if you can get in that position, but it just encourages other teams to anchor down and hold you in spawn, and that is not fun. Now, before I actually commented saying that I could use my assault rifle and at least get him in close range combat, that would be fair. But you don't have that anymore. Yeah, they're removing the assault rifle, and it's like one of the most retarded things which I've ever seen. Like, oh damn it. They want to just have it so it's the Magnum, which I could understand, but I just know. The assault rifle is such a symbolic weapon to Halo, and they can't take that away. It's something which they really just shouldn't be able to take away. The assault rifle is that close range weapon, and if you remove that close range aspect and just give them the Magnum, then they don't want to get into close range encounters. Okay, so now think of it as this. You can not sprint, you can not get in close, but you've just got to hold your own with a Magnum. So you just got to anchor down and shoot people with a Magnum. If you move up, you're going to risk getting killed. If you stay where you are, then you've got the best chance of survival. If you try and sprint around and flank them, then you're going to be seen and everybody knows where you are. If you're actually successful and able to sneak through them, then that's your best bet. But even if you get in close range and you mess up your melee, or somebody spots you, you may not be able to finish him off, because well, you may get a trade with the Magnums and that's about it. It is stupid. Halo 5 is the movement Halo. Like, it's a weird title for it, but Halo 5 is based completely on movement, and you cannot take that away from it. It's got clambering, it's got ground pounds, thrusters. The whole game is based on movement. But by making the radar and removing the assault rifle, restricting the radar and not allowing the player to get into those close range encounters which people enjoy, then it is goddamn boring. Optic Gaming, the people who always win every single HCS tournaments, they're not going to win this game. They're definitely not. They're so based on movement, and it's fun to watch them, but one of the things which I didn't like about Halo 3 was how slow the gameplay was. And they want to bring that back. We are going backwards. Like, we've improved these things and people are complaining about it because they just think nostalgia. But then it's just not working. Please. Please, no. I think what we all need to remember is Halo 5 is not Halo 3. They want to remove other things like the splinter grenades as well, which is stupid, The reasoning for that is it's broken and it's insta-kill if you get hit, but so is a plasma grenade, so I don't get what the fuss is about. They're removing the brute plasma rifle, which again I can kind of agree with, but it burns through shields too quick and someone can get the headshot. But by that standard, could you remove the plasma pistol? No, because it does this, and I don't know. They've got their reasons for removing these things, and hopefully they've got a point, you know, they're actually right. People may think, actually, this is alright, and I'm wrong. Hopefully people will give it a chance, and it actually turns out to be good. But I've given it a chance, and so have all my mates, and we hated it. We basically said this, we'll play it, and we'll see if we like it. And everybody, besides from one person, disliked it. That is such a large amount of people disliking the game, and we won. Don't get me wrong, we won. I think 4 out of the 5 games, and the last one wasn't a loss. Can't say, oh, well, you just dislike it because you lost or something random like that. Because a lot of them have got a tendency for saying you dislike something because you're bad at it. It's not the case. We won a lot of the games, and we just didn't like it in the end. They're removing a lot of core features. They're restricting movement. If you don't have that movement aspect, then Halo 5 is lacking the main thing which makes it a good Halo game. And if you take out that, then what have you got? It's just not going to be good, and people are not going to enjoy it. Halo 5 will very, very quickly fall. Now, here's what I think they should do. They should have 2 game modes, the HCS one, and then they should have Arena. That's it. You know, you should have Slayer as well. All the other game types, just make Proving Grounds the HCS. Have Team Arena, have the most favoured kind of lineups, maybe even different styled ones from the HCS, maybe past things. Ooh, like, ooh, it's needs to use the sniper rifle instead of the binary rifle on this one. And yeah, we can have both maps going off. Make Arena a bit more diverse, a bit more fun. You know, make it classic, and then have the HCS running the most updated kind of version, and you'll have to use whatever they're saying. I think 343's already realised their mistake. They might be changing it for next time, but you know, the Pro League is going to be really shit because Optic is going to be wiped out very quickly. They're based on movement, and they're going to get wiped out. It's just not going to be fun to watch, and you know, this will be the one time that Optic just doesn't do good. It's a shame. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that these changes are actually alright? Do you think that I don't have a point, that I'm just sucking up to 3-4? Sorry, what? So what do you guys think? Do you think that these updates are good? These changes, you know, are refreshing, they're good? Or do you think that they're actually quite bad? Do you think that 343 should just stop messing about? The one comment which I did have from Corey was they're doing exactly what they did to Breakout. They're trying to make it more pro-friendly by discouraging new players to go into it, and it's just not going to be fun. And he's right, with Breakout, it used to be really fun. All the encounters were so close. It was a lot closer in the game. You'd have your pistol, you'd have to get the headshots, you know, 2 headshots and you was dead, which was kind of bullshit in some ways. And then you had the SMGs, and the SMGs when you was fighting, it was so close. It was such a good game mode. Then they had Breakout 2.0, which everybody disliked, but it just never went away. You'd get so many trades with the shotguns, the pistols was just, that was it. We've actually started playing Breakout again, and I'm currently rated Onyx. I got a really high, I like won 21 out of 21 games, and I think I lost one against Champions. High Onyx. It was quite an unfair match. It was close, but you know, it was quite unfair. He had one person who was carrying them, and he was like champion 17. I don't know if I have a screenshot to show you. If I do, I'll put it on. If I don't, I might just put a picture of a kissing. But anyway, lads, make sure you leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you like these style videos. Some people really do like the breakdowns, but you know, I need support. if you're not gonna leave likes, leave comments on these kind of things, I think that you don't like them, and I probably won't do them again, or I'll wait some time before uploading them. I kind of enjoy doing these kind of videos. They take a while to make and not too long to edit and put out there, and it actually informs you people of what's going to be going on, so everybody wins. Take care, lads, and we'll see you in the next video.